Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates, and a video I thought I would never make because, believe it or not, Star Wars Battlefront 3 was just announced through a blog post on the official EA Star Wars website. I think a lot of us probably lost hope on this game at this point. But yeah, this post contains a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of exciting stuff and things I think we probably never expected. So I'm simply gonna dive straight into the details. And the blog post is titled "A New Beginning, Work Begins on Star Wars Battlefront 3, an update from the team over at DICE on the early development of the next Star Wars Battlefront installment." And as you can see up here in the corner, they've got the updated Battlefront 3 logo and a pre-order now button. But if we then scroll down to text, and obviously the first thing you can see here is Din, the Mandalorian, rendered in, well, I guess the Frostbite engine. But let's go over what the actual text says. "We're so humbled by the support of Star Wars Battlefront 2 and how strong the community has grown to be, so we felt it was time to finally announce that we have started development of the next installment in the Star Wars Battlefront franchise. When we saw how excited the community was for another game, we felt like we had to give you an update to let you know that we are indeed working on a new game. The game is still in very early development, as a large part of the team is focusing on finishing the new Battlefield game, but parts of the team are slowly transitioning over to the new Star Wars Battlefront game. Although we are still years away from a finished product, we wanted to share a few details and work in progress material with you all. We hope you are as excited as we are to see where this journey will take us." And again, here is the Mandalorian screenshot here with the Battlefront 3 logo, and they say the following: "Above you can see our first render of Din Djarin from the Mandalorian in the Frostbite engine, and we are excited to confirm that Din, among other characters from the Mandalorian, will be in the game at launch." Obviously something that should have been in Battlefront 2, but still nevertheless awesome to see them in Battlefront 3. Next up, we're getting to a news part here called Star Wars Battlefront 3, Exploring the Eras You Love the Most. From creating the first two games, we learned what the community liked and didn't like, and one thing the community made very clear was that they were tired of all the Clone Wars content. And we are very excited to announce that the next game will be focusing solely on the original trilogy and sequel trilogy. With this focus, we'll be able to dive deeper into these eras and create characters and places that weren't in the two previous games. We wanted to share the first work-in-progress gameplay of Jabba the Hutt, a highly requested character, which we are very excited to confirm will be playable at the launch of the game, and they link to this gameplay. It's so amazing to finally see Jabba playable in the game, because he was obviously in the first game, but just for the Hutt contracts. But now we can actually play him, and although it looks a little bit rough, of course, it's still very early into development, and seeing Jabba the Hutt this early on really proves that they are getting pretty far into development, further than I actually thought. I thought they were just like in planning stages at this point. So that is indeed very exciting. And Clone Wars, I mean, we got so much Clone Wars content for Battlefront 2 that I feel like this is probably the right way to go, especially with all the series coming out that are in between the original trilogy and sequel trilogy. Next up, they say we will be diving deeper into the sequel era than ever, focusing on your favorite characters such as Admiral Holdo and Teedo, characters that we really felt were missing from Star Wars Battlefront 2. We have one more surprise for you that a lot of you probably didn't expect, which is the fact that we have teamed up with the team behind Terminator Resistance, and you'll be seeing a never-before-seen crossover between the Terminator and Star Wars franchises. And here's your first look at the T-800 in the Star Wars universe. Absolutely ridiculous. I never thought I'd expect to see this, but I mean, we've got droids, so why not Terminators? And here's a screenshot of, I guess, like a first render, and also some gameplay here, as you can see, which again looks a bit rough, but it is still the T-800 in the Star Wars universe. So that's a crossover I thought I'd never see, but man, who knows? It might work out really good. They might just be like better versions of the droids, probably. So yeah, and obviously Admiral Holdo and Teedo, that's like the main characters in the sequel trilogy, so I definitely understand why they're deciding to put those kind of characters into the game and focusing on what the fans really want. And that's about it, but at the end they just say the last announcement we have for today is probably the most exciting one. Star Wars Battlefront 3 will be completely free for all players, something we decided after seeing how popular Battlefront 2 became when we released it for free on the Epic Game Store. All characters, weapons and skins will be unlockable through playing the game. Thank you very much for being the best community in the world, and may the force be with you. And then also, it seems like there's, with playing the game, there's an asterisk saying all in-game content will also be unlockable instantly through crystals or purchasing the Battlefront 3 Extreme Ultimate Edition. Well, I know for certain I'm gonna pre-order the Extreme Ultimate Edition. Because, well, I want all that content. But I'm glad it will be free nevertheless, so that everyone can play the game, as obviously we got like 19 million players from the Epic Games Store free weekend, so imagine how much you'll get from Battlefront 3 being free at launch. Nevertheless, I think this is some very exciting announcements, and they honestly showed more of the game than I expected this early on, considering that, yeah, the game just started development.